I'm starting the stream now. Hello. Let's see if this is working. Um,
Oh, that did something.
there we go. Yes. Hello. Awesome. Hello. We're live.
We are. We are live.
We are live. Hi.
Okay.
I'm Darren McKeeman, and this is Drew Bingaman. We are co-hosts here on the Talk the Plank podcast. I'm coming to you from the fabulous Marina office here at the Pier 39 in San Francisco. And Drew is coming to you from the wilds of Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania. Central Pennsylvania.
central Pennsylvania. Anywhere,
Someplace nobody's ever going to know the name of. It's
anywhere near Centralia?
actually not that far from it.
Not that far.
So, yeah. It's
Anybody who
maybe
doesn't,
maybe
anybody who
about an
doesn't,
hour. Yeah.
anybody who doesn't know what Centralia is, it's a massively horrible screw up by all
Mhm.
parties involved involving an underground fire that's been burning for what? How many? 50 years?
That's I think it's got to be more than that now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, it's a long time and it's still burning.
Yes.
So,
So yes, we are senior leadership in the United States Pirate Party. I am the quartermaster, treasurer, and Drew is our esteemed captain. Uh, the Pirate Party actually started uh, uh, as an idea and a concept back in the mid 2000s by a man named Rick Falkvinge in Sweden. And he started the Swedish Pirate Party after the Pirate Bay got raided. The Pirate Bay raids, everybody remembers that. I don't know if you still use Pirate Bay. I only do with my JavaScript turned off. Uh, but but
that's
yeah,
smart. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yes, the pirate parties came as a reaction to that and free speech issues in Europe. Uh, Later on, other countries such as Iceland and Czechoslovakia have had their own success with pirate parties. And basically, what pirate parties are is open source democracy, is what I like to call them. It's a bunch of people getting together and figuring out how to run for something and then doing it. Uh, uh, Birgitta John's daughter, who was the founder of the Pirate Party, famously has said that they don't recognize labels like left or right. They just are interested in policies that get things done for ordinary people. And that's what we're all about. Uh, and I don't know, Drew, if you want to add anything to that.
I like to say that we're for digital rights.
Hmm.
That's one of the your digital freedom, your digital your rights as in your you know basically, like, I think at some point we should probably work on doing a 21st century digital bill of rights.
Hmm.
um, I think that could be a fun exercise. But yeah, all those digital freedoms, anything that has to do with anything electronic, and having, and it ties all together with the copyright issue. um, because right to repair, all that stuff gets into copyright issues. Which there was, McDonald's can finally fix their ice cream machines without uh, you know paying an exorbitant fee to the company that they bought them from, which that was just a recent case. um, Not that, like, I think it's that McDonald's needed a win, but it's a win for copyright. A strike against copyright.
Hmm.
So it gives us just a little bit more freedom that we didn't have a few days ago. So yeah,
Yes.
those kind of things. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Well, a lot of pirate philosophy has been, like I said, it was set down by the European pirate parties. One of the things that I'm always been uh, obsessed with learning more about is Rick Falkridge's Pirate Wheel, which is basically a a mirror or a lens or a prism, as it were, to view policies through. Uh, Starting with the base tenet of everybody needs to be empowered by this policy, and any policies that do not meet that baseline, need to be scrapped. So uh, part of that, though, is actually getting into uh, power in the first place, getting in, bringing those philosophies to bear on government, and attacking at the local level is the best way to do that because everybody has take care of where you live first.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so uh, I'm very interested in finding people here in San Francisco to run for office. I'm sure Drew is interested in finding people in Pennsylvania to run for
Anywhere in
office.
Pennsylvania,
Yes,
just contact Captain at
yes,
uspirates.org.
and the same for California. Anybody in California, if you need help running for office where you are, and you don't feel like you fit with the Republicans or the Democrats, come to us. We will help you. We will open source your campaign for you.
And
Uh,
we'll kick in the website right there in here at uspirates.org.
exactly.
So check that out. That's where you can get links to everything. You can go to uspirates.org/join, and that'll give you a list of where you can actually get involved. So check it out.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Julie Pitta to hook up with us today. Julie is the head of the Phoenix Project here in San Francisco, and we are talking to her about the astroturfing that's been going on here in San Francisco for the past year and a half, or however long it's been going on. I've been living here in San Francisco for 30 years, and I've never really seen very much like it, actually. Cookie cutter orgs, all created with tons of money. So give the illusion that there's a lot of different people that are interested in doing this when it's actually just the same 10 people.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they're just throwing money at the problem, right? That's a lot of what it is.
exactly. Exactly. And it's just that's how people with money view all these things. It's like,
Hmm.
and it's unfortunately that's what our society is. If you
Yeah,
if it's if a crime has a fine attached to it, it's not illegal for rich people.
it's yep.
That's basically what's going on.
Hmm.
And anything can be bought now. So this is one of the informational podcasts that we hope to do because we want to warn you if you are thinking about getting into running for office, this is what you're up against. This dark money, these dark money PACs, they are using this playbook across the country to attack school boards, to attack uh, city councils, and to go after uh, local government with people that they have just pulled from somewhere else in the country and put there. A good example has been the school board recalls here and the recent election that we had, where we had a one of the candidates for our district supervisor was a guy who moved in like last January. He moved into the
Oh,
district.
he's a total carpetbagger.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and he claimed that he was a teacher in the district, and he just signed up for like a teaching credential and
hmm.
taught like one class.
Jeez.
And he
But
just
he's a
got
fraud. Like, what
yeah,
is like?
luckily, the electorate saw through that and did not elect him. But
That's
it,
amazing. I applaud you out there in San Francisco for actually seeing that guy, for
yeah, well,
hopefully seeing him for what he is.
I'm not
That's
sure that that was what it is. I think most of it was lots of people going, what, who is this guy? He wasn't
yeah.
really recognizable. And most of his actual credentials before them were as an APAC lobbyist. So he was
I
lobbying for Israel before he did that. So,
listen. I haven't run any campaigns in cities as big as San Francisco, but I've run campaigns in cities here in central Pennsylvania, and you have to, if you want to be recognized for a city council spot, or a mayor, you have to have local recognition. Like, people have to know who you are, whether they know you intimately or personally. But yeah,
oh,
you definitely
here we go.
have to be
Here's
known.
here's Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine. I was just telling them all about Trevor Chandler.
Oh, so yeah, so sad.
It sounds like it was a tragic case.
A tragic case. I'm actually surprised by some of these election results. I didn't expect Trevor to go down so hard,
Yeah,
and I didn't expect that Dean Preston would have a real fight on his hands.
yeah, that was a mystery to me too. Have they decided that yet or not?
No, it's not been decided yet, but Dean is getting screwed by the second and third place votes. He
Yeah.
none of those. He was
And
running against three so-called moderate. I'm I'm going to stop using the word moderate. These people are conservative.
hey,
But yeah,
I was just gonna say, if I could stop you there, just for the like nationwide audience.
Yes.
I don't think everybody is going to understand what you mean by second and third place votes.
Oh yeah.
correct. We
So
have ranked choice voting in San Francisco, and in the case of the only Democratic socialist on the Board of Supervisors, Dean Preston, and frankly, in my opinion, the most effective legislator in the city. He was running against three conservative candidates who made alliances to his detriment.
mm,
Yeah. I mean, Dean is one of these people that had Elon Musk going. This guy needs to be like locked up. He was saying things like that, and it's just yeah. Dean actually has gotten a lot of housing put through, but everything here in San Francisco is a fight. And so, sometimes he is unsuccessful in that fight, and people point out to how much of a failure he is. But there's like some other places in like the housing over by Golden Gate Park that he helped get built on the side of that old McDonald's. That is an amazing bit of work right there, and that could, I don't think anybody but him could have gotten that done. So, but Julie, why don't for the rest of the country here, why don't I let you introduce yourself? Because we
Okay.
just kind of jumped right into it. Sorry about that. I was kind of excited to talk to you.
we're still working the format out,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is the pilot episode.
Yes, it
Oh, that's
is.
so, I feel honored to be here. Well, my name is Julie Pitta. In my past life, I was a business reporter for the Los Angeles Times and for Forbes magazine. In my current life, I am the president of the Phoenix Project, which is uh, doing research and disseminating information on the money, the big money, billionaire money, corporate money that's finding its way into San Francisco elections, which is a phenomenon that's happening in municipalities across the country.
Cool. Uh, has there been any commonalities that you've found with other municipalities, like PO boxes or things like that, with of these?
No, what we have actually seen though is that we've been focusing on a handful of billionaires who have set up political action committees or just political influence organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these folks are not only playing in the San Francisco sandbox, they're playing nationally.
Mm-hmm.
William Oberndorf, who likes to keep a very low profile, he is, until recently, he was a registered Republican who has contributed to Mitch McConnell's leadership fund, Ted Cruz,
Oh,
Nikki Haley, the usual, some of the
all the
usual.
all-stars, right?
Yeah, yeah, all the all stars. He was also the leading donor to former District Attorney Chesa Boudin's um, uh, ouster, his recall.
Mm-hmm.
From what I gather from Chesa, is that he was called into Oberndorf's office, and Oberndorf made a very specific ask of Chesa Boudin. He wanted him to somehow do away with San Francisco's status as a sanctuary city. When Chesa said he would absolutely not do this after he was elected, Oberndorf became his enemy.
Well, that's not really surprising coming from a Republican. So, but
No.
so let's see. So what we just had like a big election here, and we were talking earlier about the people that were elected. Uh, what do you see that other municipalities need to watch out for when these?
Well, they need to watch out for any loopholes in their campaign finance laws. These people have been very clever at exploiting that. So, what they've done is they've set up these independent expenditure committees, and that allows them to get around the very strict cap on campaign contributions for individuals, which is $500.
Mm-hmm.
So they can give unlimited money to these independent expenditure committees, and they can also hide their identity. So, as always with these things, it's follow the money.
Mhm.
But in a lot of these things, though, when they set up these companies, though, it stops with that, which is where
Right.
you're saying where that's how they hide the money, because you can trace it back to these. They're essentially shells set up for they're political shells, basically.
Mhm.
So yeah, follow the
Correct.
money, but yeah.
What's very interesting is that in San Francisco, there's about a half dozen of these shell companies, and if you look at who their donors are, it's the same group of people. They're all donating to each other's groups, and then during an election year, they multiply like rabbits. They
Mhm.
become sons and daughters of these half dozen
Yeah,
shell companies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's all
yeah.
to obscure, the point is to obscure the original source of these donations. Um, this is something your national audience might be interested in. Um, Michael Moritz recently wrote an op-ed piece essentially slamming Aaron Peskin, who was the most progressive candidate for mayor in San Francisco. Um, I think that was a big mistake on his part, a big misstep, because his power is in being Oz, being behind the scenes. And he got frustrated. I think he saw Mark Farrell, his chosen candidate in the election, going down. Most of us saw he would go down. Proposition D going down, which was a measure to give more power to. I mean, I think what they had hoped is that Farrell would be elected, and they wanted to give him his Project 2025, which would have been Prop D, which gave the mayor much more power. In a city that already has a strong mayor
Yeah,
form of government.
the mayor here doesn't need any more power, Ryan, honestly.
No, the mayor here needs a lot more oversight.
Yes.
I think all mayors probably need more oversight, but that's I think that's
Well,
one of those universal truths.
You're correct. Apparently, I saw one study that said strong mayor forms of government are among the most corrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody in power needs oversight and checks and balances, and I guess that apparently that makes me a bad person in 2024. But
And I would totally agree with you. If there's anything we can learn from the London Breed administration, it's that mayors need oversight. That was one of the most corrupt mayoral administrations on record.
Well,
yeah,
on the other hand, I feel kind of selfish saying this, but I'm kind of glad that Aaron's not going to be corrupted by that. Uh, Aaron is my neighbor up here in Telegraph Hill,
Oh,
and
very nice.
we say hi to each other on the street. I like him a lot. I would feel bad if he actually got corrupted by all that power. But then again, he would probably also be a really good mayor. And I hope that he doesn't. I hope that he goes on to something better.
You know, I have gotten to know Aaron Peskin, and I like him so very, very much. He would have been a terrific mayor. It's a real loss for San Francisco that he did not win. Um, yeah, what I wish for him is that he get to enjoy his life. He's devoted a lot of his life to public service. It's probably time for him and his wife Nancy to smell the roses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's been in politics as long as I've been here. I've been here for 30 years, and I've seen him constantly since I moved here. And yeah, I agree with you about that.
Yeah, I think I hope for the best for our new mayor, Daniel Lurie. Um, I don't have a good feeling about it.
mm,
San Francisco's government is very complicated, and we've just elected someone with no experience.
Well, this
And
is his first job.
exactly.
This is
And
his
his
first job ever. So
oh
that
really?
just
I thought did he inherit his money? I thought he was like a
oh
billionaire.
you don't know. No,
No, no, no. I don't know
this
this guy. I
guy
don't know this guy really.
this guy is the heir to the Levi's family fortune.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Well, then,
So
yeah. Okay, I get it now.
your blue jeans helped elect him.
Yeah,
So
I have
Uh,
two theories as to why he's been elected. One of them is that people are tired of the toxicity in San
yes,
Francisco politics, and he came across as a nice man.
yeah, and
And
he's the first
yeah,
guy that's not handpicked by Willie Brown.
right. So there's a separation from that. People are tired of Willie's brand of politics, and unfortunately, Aaron came into the race with some baggage
Hmm.
in terms of you know, being kind of a tough guy to work with at times at City Hall.
Yeah,
But Daniel Lurie, if I've met him a couple of times, he comes across as a very, very nice guy. And I think people responded to
hmm,
that. I also think there's a funny thing in San Francisco that when the city is in crisis, and, to be clear, we're still coming out of the COVID 19 mess, that they somehow look to the old families, that
hmm.
um, they're looking for daddy. Um, so
Yeah,
a scion from one of the old families just it
yeah,
felt right for this moment.
yeah, yeah. I can see that.
and
Uh,
that's what we were saying when you joined us, Julie. We were just talking about that. You have to be, the
you have to
name
be a
being
name.
well known. Yeah, you have to be a name. Even in my small town, you have to be a name. Because, otherwise people just they will not vote like at all in your race if they don't know who you are. So,
Well, he didn't have a lot of name recognition, but he got
Yeah.
in very, very early, and he spent boatloads of his and his mother's money to create name recognition. Those billboards of Daniel Lurie started showing up before anyone was paid close attention to this mayoral race. but they created a perception. I'm out here in the
And that
fog, and they were putting up big billboards very early, and he did very well on the West Side.
Now,
so the he um oh my God, I apologize. I had it. I had it, but
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's
So basically, he's not really related to all the tech money
no.
that's been flowing into this stuff. He is a phenomenon on his own. The people that we're mostly concerned with are the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musks, the Bill Oberndorfs, the David Sachs, uh,
Gary
those
Chan,
Gary
yeah.
Chan, those folks are all like they're all in on Project 2025. They're all in on trying to completely wipe out the government. And honestly, I think the end goal is a one-party system with no term limits. That's really the end goal that they're pushing for. And
They're
anybody,
yeah, they're a strange crew because they're a combination of libertarian and authoritarianism.
mhm.
It's
Doesn't make any sense. I
and
come
this
from a
is
incoherent.
libertarian background, and it does not make any sense to
And
me,
this
other than
is, yeah,
other than it's the entitlement of billionaires kind of a
yeah,
thing, where
Yeah,
like I'm
exactly.
a treat me as royalty essentially. I'm
Well,
we don't have no aristocracy.
well, their guy
well,
is a
Money.
their guy is a heartbeat away from the presidency now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a incoherent ideology to
hmm
me. What I guess I'm drawing on my time covering Silicon Valley. I interviewed a lot of people who were probably told they were the smartest kid in class from the time they were kindergarten on, and they think because they can code or design circuits that that kind of intelligence applies elsewhere or it can be is applicable. There's a word for this, and I can't quite recall it, but yeah, there's a real arrogance among the tech elite.
hmm
I guess,
And honestly, a lot of them, both Peter Thiel and Musk, they didn't they don't they come from money. They're also heirs.
yeah,
Um, you know, so it's not they feel like they're entitled because they built something, and most of the time it really wasn't them, right? It's that whole you didn't build that, you know.
well, the funny, just a little bit of an aside. I remember when Mark Andreessen came out to Silicon Valley, based on the work he had done as a graduate student at University of Illinois. Now, he was called the father
mosaic,
of the yeah.
mosaic.
He,
I have a story about that. When my first job was working for Spry in Seattle, which had a thing called Internet in a Box, and they had licensed the
Remember
NCA.
that product.
They
yeah, I do too. Yeah.
they had licensed the NCSA Mosaic browser from the University of Illinois, and we were using. We had actually hired the other engineer who'd worked on it, other than Mark, and we were doing pretty well. We were actually I was the IT person, and I was with them. I was employee number 39, and I installed all the computers for up to employee number 500. Uh, and that was all within about 6 months that I had to do all that stuff. And then Netscape and Mark Andreessen gave their browser away for free on the internet, and our
Yeah.
business collapsed. So,
There was a
so
mythology that was created around Andreessen that he was the father of that browser, and he
mhm,
was not. He was
yeah,
one person
it was a team. It was a team of people,
effort.
uh,
Yeah.
and and even as it goes to even as it went on to Netscape, you'll find engineers that worked on it. They're like, "Oh, I did all that." I'm like, "No, you worked on like one small part of this."
Well, they
So
start believing their own notices. That's what
yeah,
I find. I when I was at
what was
Forbes,
this?
I was often interested in writing about or debunking the notion of a serial entrepreneur, because what these people never wanted to factor in was the luck that got them over the finish line the first time.
Yeah.
Uh, they thought it was just all their skill, so they would arrogantly try and start another company, and it wouldn't go anywhere.
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. But it's like I feel bad because I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur myself, but I was kind of like the opposite. I kept working at it, and I kept failing until something took off, and then I was just like, oh, I gotta hang on for dear life now. So that's been an experience too. But now I guess the past year or so here has radicalized me, and I'm throwing a lot into the pirate party here too. So.
Terrific. Yeah.
So it's 5:30 now. I think that's probably all the time we have right now for this initial one. You think
Great.
that's
Well,
a good one?
thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah,
Oh no.
absolutely. I found it as somebody that lives far away from San Francisco, I kind of was enjoying you guys talk about the drama, and I thought it was, I mean, but I'm
Well,
a weird political junkie, so
my favorite part about living in San Francisco is the politics because it's so freaking weird. I mean, we used to. I mean, there's. I mean, my introduction was when to like just how weird it was a long time ago when a friend of mine had a party for Willie Brown, and it was like, and he basically did a performance art piece where he had this girl cut a satanic pentagram into his back and then pee all over him and then sodomize him with
oh
a whiskey
my
bottle
God.
in front of Willie
Wow.
Brown, and the entire group of political people that was there was like, I wasn't there by the time that happened. so
Wow.
so just it's always there's always something like that just pops up just
I
randomly,
mean,
and you're like,
that
bless
is
San Francisco.
amazingly
Yes.
audacious. I
Oh yeah.
mean, that's epic. Yeah.
He called
Well,
himself
and
the
it's
Apache
funny.
Satanic Front.
Yeah,
So
it's a small enough town that it's really, I mean, in a short time, I kind of know everyone in progressive political circles. And it's not that because I get out there that much, it's
no,
just,
it's because
it's a very small
it's a
town.
very small town.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's only 7 miles across.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
and with that, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you, folks, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. I'm hoping to have Mike Stabile on. I'm still talking to him about that. Mike is a policy director at the Free Speech Foundation, I believe. And yeah, tune in next Friday at 5 o'clock, and we'll have more of this.
It's
Thank you
five
very much.
o'clock Pacific.
5 o'clock Pacific, eight
Pacific.
o'clock Eastern, which is where Drew is.
That's right. Okay. And get
Okay,
out there and vote pirate,
vote pirate.
and go to uspirates.org/join, and that's where all our links are.
Should I close out with the slogan that we always say at the at our pirate meetings?
Yeah, sure. Why
Okay,
not?
yes. Uh, when you don't own anything, or when you buy something but you don't own it, piracy is not
Isn't
illegal.
theft.
It's not
Yeah.
theft.
It's not theft. It's probably illegal, but it's not theft.
It's not theft. All right, thank you, folks, and good
Okay.
night.